Tomorrow morning, Nisham, God willing, slichas 8 o'clock. It's a short slichas because every Yom Kippur, you have to prepare yourself for Yom Kippur, and slichas at 8 tomorrow morning. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of those that have stood by our side courageously, like good soldiers, to make certain that we always have a minion. Like I mentioned many times before, we always fail to show our appreciation. A wise man one time said, if you're looking for gratitude, look in the dictionary. And we forget who to thank and where we took our, whatever we have, where we took it from. Like I mentioned before, there was one time a gentleman who unfortunately, he found life too unbearable. He just couldn't go on any longer. He decided he's going to end it all. So, but he was looking for a painless way to take his life. He don't want to go through that agonizing gasping for that last breath before he leaves this world. So he told him, there's no problem. They told him, go to the library. They have all kinds of reading material just on that subject. He presents himself to the librarian, and she said, do you have anything on suicide that it shouldn't be painful? She says, absolutely. Number one, it's a very popular book. The second thing is, that's exactly the title, Painless Suicide. I'll tell you where to find it. Go downstairs in the basement, and on the third shelf, on the cabinet, right-hand side, is a very conspicuous yellow jacket on it. You'll find it, Painless Suicide by so-and-so. He looks, he runs downstairs, there, top vant, he can't find it. He's becoming so agitated and angry, my goodness, all frustrated. He comes running back up the stairs, breathless. He says, what did you send me out a wild goose chase? I can't find it. It's not there. She says, my apologies. I apologize. I'm sorry. Most probably the last one that took it didn't bring it back. So this what happened. The Midrash tells a very beautiful story. A very righteous individual was out working on the field, and someone disguised as a Zaki, an elderly gentleman, who was actually Eliyahu HaNavi, Eliyahu the prophet, and he said to him, I have for you a very special reward. 7 good years with Chaim Tov, good years. He says, and you have an option. I can either give them to you now, and at the end of 7 years, we'll take it back, whatever is left over, or we can give it to you at the end of your 7 years before you leave this world. So he said, I have to, he said, I have to go discuss it with my wife. He comes home, he tells his wife, he says, forget about it. That's some kind of a witchcraft. He probably wants money from you, who knows it. Don't bother with it. Ignore it. A while later, again, he appeared before him with the same proposition, and he told him ignore it. But after 3 or 4 appearances, he comes back to his wife. He says, you know, the same elderly gentleman, he came 3, 4 times already. There must be more to it than just witchcraft. So he says, you know, the next time he comes, tell him you want it, and you'll take it right now. Doesn't take long, a day or so. Again, the prophet appears before him, and he says, again, I have for you those 7 good years. When do you want it? He said, we want it right now. He said, okay, you'll have it. He finished the day's work, and it doesn't take long. On the way home, he's walking, he sees something glittering, shining, he bends down, pick it up. It's a very valuable, precious stone, and he redeems it for a huge fortune. And brings home the money. His wife tells him, he says, we're going to keep books. We'll be bookkeepers now. On all good deeds, chesed, kindness that we do. We're going to keep a book, a record of everything. Time passes, and one day he's working out in the field again. This pious Jew, Chosid, And again, Eliyahu HaNavi is there. He says, here's the calendar. 7 years ago, he says, you were given that gift from heaven. The 7 years are up. He says, so I come to take back the remainder, whatever was left over from that stone that you redeemed from the fortune that became yours. I'm taking it back. So he said, just a minute. I took it with my wife's consulting with her. I can't give it back until I consult with her. He goes home, he tells his wife the story that he came. She says, bring me before him. So they go out into the field. There he is, Eliyahu HaNavi. So she says to him, you want to take back what's left over? Here are our books that we kept on all the deeds that we did. Now, if you have anybody that can do better with that you left us, you're welcome to it. He looked at her and he says, I think in heaven we're going to agree with you. You can keep the rest of it. So all the good deeds that you did, coming to our meeting and helping us, so the Almighty should, on the new year, He should bless you with health and happiness and nachas and the best of everything.